This is Sip and Discuss. I am. This is a podcast. This podcast is for Black and brown folks. We have conversations that matter to us. I am Michelle Mosley.
I'm Khalida Hunter.
And we have Richie Blue on our camera. So, yes. And tonight we actually have with us a special guest, a music producer, Rick Shawn. Give it up for Rick Shawn.
Thank you what you guys are doing.
Thank you for being here. So, I wanted you to come because you are, of course, a Black man.
Yes.
And I wanted to not, I didn't want the conversation to just be Black women talking about loving Black women and we are loved. I wanted the proof that there is Black men out there who love us and protect us. And I wanted to get your opinion on everything. And it's funny because this episode, this topic came to mind last month. And it was set for this date a while. And now recently, over the past 2 days, the verdict has come out that Breonna Taylor's killers will not be brought to justice. They are saying that basically a wall is more important than her life. More valuable than her life. So I was just like, once that came out, I was silent for a while, but I was talking to God and I was just like, what are you trying to tell me right now? Because we have a whole episode celebrating Black women and telling Black women that they are loved and they are protected. And then America tells us, no, you're not. We can come in your home and we can do whatever we want and we will not be held accountable for it. And I believe God told me or is telling me that I'm not telling you to wait for America to protect you. I'm not telling you to wait for a white man to save you or a justice system to save you. I am telling you that you are loved. You are loved because God loves you. You are loved because there are Black men out there who would die to protect you, to stand up for you. So that's why I feel like we are here. We are here to change the narrative. We are here to hear from Rick Shawn, who is a Black man who has a 1-year-old.
A 1-year-old and a 4-year-old.
A 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. And you're a music producer.
Yes.
And we want to discuss this topic with him. We want to discuss how do you feel. Well, you introduce yourself and tell people what you're all about.
How you guys doing out there? I'm Rick Shawn. Government name is Robert R. Harrison. I'm from right here in Atlantic City, from Venice Park, aka Sparktown, First Bridge. I'm a music producer. I've been doing this journey for about 15 years. Before I was a music producer, I was actually a rapper first. And even before that, I was an instrumentalist. I've been doing music since I was about 4 years old. And it's just something that I love and puts me in a different place than you should help me get through the situations I was dealing with in my natural life as a child growing up.
What type of music do you produce? Like, what do you say you kind of stick with? Like, you have a vibe that you go with?
I'm mostly hip-hop based. That's pretty much like the music that speaks to me the most. That's my foundation. Mm-hmm. And I branch out to other different formats because hip-hop is all about incorporating other styles of music and bringing it into what you do. So you might hear a little bit of pop, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of drill, a little bit of Dipset. dubstep, excuse me.
Yes, grew up on this.
Production-wise, it's all about the 808s and the low end really kicking it out, but also like the ambient sounds and the chill sounds you get from house music. Because I'm from Jersey, and house music is out there.
So, do you feel hip hop music nowadays is created in a way to downplay black love and glorify dating outside of your race?
Truthfully, I feel like that hip hop music today is pretty much based on financial status, and it's based on elevating yourself like economically. It's not really about love per se, because you don't really hear too many artists, male or female, talk about relationship goals or a whole family. You mostly talk about elevating yourself economically as a businessman or a businesswoman. And I feel like the perception of black love, you don't see it in the video aspect of it. You know what I mean? When you see the videos, it's always a woman that's maybe of a different race or a different culture, or a woman who's somewhat mixed, somewhat she's black, but she's black with other things mixed in her. And that's what we push to the forefront from the male perspective as an artist.
See, I feel like, me personally, because there have been moments in my life, and I want to speak honestly, there have been moments in my life where I was watching television. I remember watching Sex and the City, and I remember feeling like nobody loves us. Nobody loves us as a black woman. There is no music. There is no leading man that's coming to save me. And then recently, you know, as I've grown and I've experienced different things, I realized, no, that I personally feel like, no, that is the image that the media wants to push. That is what the music that you are constantly listening to wants to tell you, that men only want the hoes and the exotic women who are from a different land and have long and pretty hair. And
can I say something?
That let me just put it like that our men are dating and marrying outside of their race in large amounts. And then when you do the research, 85% of black men are married to black women. When I do my Ubering and we live in a tourist town in the summertime, all I see is black men with their families, their girlfriends, their children. So I had to start thinking, and then I have brothers who are in love with black women and have children by black women. And I had to start thinking to myself, no, is this the narrative they want to tell you? So you can give up, so you can feel hopeless, so you can feel unloved. Because I'm a person who plays on, I believe in the power of the subconscious mind. I believe in images. I believe that if you see something long enough and you repeat something long enough, you will believe that. You will become that. That's why I believe in changing the narrative. You wanted to say something, I'll just keep going.
No, just on the topic of, saying exotic, quote unquote, and the exotic woman. When black women come in every shade, black women are the only women that can make every shade. How can it get more exotic than that?
Well, see, I think that the majority of people don't understand what the word exotic actually means.
Yes. And
the word exotic is something different. So it's something that you've never experienced before. So I have white men who think that I'm exotic because No, let me finish. Because they are used to white women. So I'm different. So to them, I am exotic. A black man doesn't see me as exotic because he sees me every day, his mother, his sister. He's surrounded by beautiful black women. That's what he's grown up around. So when I feel like when you say exotic, it is a way of saying it's something that I'm not used to. It's different. It's like when you get that exotic weed. It looks a little strange to you. It's a little purple. God exotic because you never had it before.
Like, to round out what you guys are talking about, like, exotic really, if you're talking about this country, exotic is everybody else that's a person of color, because the majority of people in America statistically are white Americans.
Yeah, we're the minority.
Yeah, so everyone else is the minority, so we are the exotic.
But we're not the top minority anymore. That's the issue.
Well, like you were saying actually earlier, that we create people of every shade and color.
Yeah.
So whether you, I mean, it's a statistical thing that says that every person that is half black and half something else, that they grow up, they take to the black side more than the other side. And that's not by mistake, that's just by the love that they get from the black community, that they feel accepted. They feel like, regardless of what they look like, what their complexion is, what their hair is, what their eye is, when we see them, we see that they're black, we treat them as black people, so they feel accepted, so they take to that side. Like,
well, the other side ain't going to accept them, because the rule was if you had one drop of black blood in you, you are black.
Yes.
Well, see, that's the rule that white people created in terms of a black person. That's the rule that white people created in terms of a black person, half white person.
And then we go right back to the statistic of the white standard of beauty.
Like, if you look at someone like, for instance, Naomi Osaka, the professional tennis player, who's Japanese and black.
Yes.
Japan embraces her, but not only because she actually is born and raised in that country, because she's a top athlete as well.
Yes,
so they take pride in the fact that she represents Japan every time she dominates on the tennis court, regardless of her color or skin.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you have to remember that a lot of these so-called idiosyncrasies that we have, that we hear, are white-based. You know what I mean? And we have to, as people, we have to learn to stop accepting what they say as the rule.
Subscribing to the white standard of beauty.
Exactly.
Stop subscribing to the white standard of anything.
Of anything, right?
Pretty much.
And I think that's what I really wanted to get across, like with the challenge and everything, is that we have to stop looking for their protection, their acceptance. We're not going to get it. And we don't need it. We don't need it. I have a question for you. Can you date outside of your race and still love and protect the black woman?
Absolutely. Actually, married to a Chinese woman who's from Atlantic City, believe it or not. Unlike, not to try to pick on the man, but I'm going at his neck right now.
Jeezy?
Not like the DA of Breonna Taylor's case, who was actually married to someone who's not black. It doesn't make me feel like I have to not appreciate the people that I'm a part of, and the women that birthed me, and the women that raised me, and made me be here. Because at the end of the day, you can still love who you love and still care about your own people. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things that I noticed about that, and that gentleman in particular, is that when I saw who he was, and how he started going viral, and all the photos, I never saw anyone from his side of the family in any of the photos. It was just his wife and her family. So I'm like, where's your mother? Where's your father? Where's your uncle? Where's your brother? Your cousin? Is anybody black in the scenario? I don't think his name is Daniel Cameron. That's what his name is. When he decided that Breonna Taylor's life was less important than a wall.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And to me, that just sickens me to see.
That the people, we don't know about the people of Kentucky, and because we don't live here, and we don't understand what's really going on, and this is justified. Like, that's what he got on there and said.
And it just kind of sickened me to see that scenario played out, because that's self-hate in its purest form. You know what I mean? I don't know the brother personally. I don't know what he went through, what his, what's going on with him, but clearly from his judgment and what he decided to do with his life and the things that's transpired, he pretty much has no real love for himself or his community. And I feel like, that people who emphasize that, because there are people out there that feel like that unless you're not with a black person, you can't, quote unquote, love black people. That's someone who's not well informed, and someone who's lacking spiritually, and someone who's lacking probably culturally.
Yes.
When you know where you come from, and you know who you are, and you know what your people are, and you know what your people have contributed, and you know who your people are perceived as in a positive way, you don't have to, quote unquote, overcompensate. because you are who you are. You are black. You move black. You think black. You do things black. And whoever you are with, regardless of who they are, they're not going to stop you from being black because they're with you for the whole reason that you are black.
Yes, because they wouldn't want you if you wasn't salty like that.
Exactly.
Well, I am in a relationship with a man of Cuban descent. So we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. Here, no one batted an eye. I think one, because he is well known, and two, because it's just Jersey.
And it's a big Latino community.
Yeah, and we just don't care like that. like we was growing up together, going through the same struggles. Everyone basically basically everyone that I grew up with that was Latino is now married to a black person. So like that's the background that I come from. But when I did move to Atlanta, I did experience the looks and the treating of him, like being treated bad. And I believe it was because they thought he was Caucasian. He can, pass. And it's like, I am not, what's so funny? I am not less, I don't love my people less. I didn't choose him because he was Cuban. I actually was running from him, to be honest with you. I believe that there are people out there, and it's sad, that do choose to date outside of their race purposely. But for a person like me, no, I didn't choose. Love is love. When it happened, I said, oh God, you trying to play a trick on me. You trying to you so pro-black. You done wrote a whole poem about how you gonna marry a black man and have black babies.
And it's on, you can buy the CD. It's on a CD.
It's on a record.
That's a shameless
But me and him actually had that conversation. And because there was points in my life because we've been together for 6 years now, and there was points in my life where I was feeling bad about it and I was feeling guilty. My man has taught me more about African spirituality than any black person I have ever met. He knows.
He's in touch with his ancestors.
Yes, he knows his line. He knows he knows. I don't know which grandmother it was. It's far down, but she's an African woman. He knows his shit. And when we were
proud of it.
And guys, I just feel it's really important. I'm glad that you answered that question. You can love who you are in love with, because that's what it's based off of. It's love. And did you have daughters?
No, I actually have two sons. A 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And it's funny because, from like she said earlier, 85% of black people actually are with other black people. But statistically, when you look at the interracial marriages, 75% of interracial marriages are black men. You know what I mean? That's a really big thing. And it's funny, I don't know, like I said, I can't speak for the DA of Kentucky or, some of these other guys who do what they choose to do what they do. For me, it came down to, and a man actually telling me, because I'm Muslim, a man actually telling me, only a fool turns away a good woman. You know what I mean? And, I've known my wife since I was 23. And when I met her, I wasn't exactly doing, the right thing. You know what I'm saying? I was out there, doing my thing, and you have a thing called women intuition.
Yes.
And my woman, she never judged me for what I was doing or how I was doing it. And she advised me one day to relax. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm doing all right, so I can take a day off. You know what I mean? In the process of doing that, on my way to work, a Lansing police officer ran up on me while I was going to work, and he was asking me, I had anything on me, he was running my pockets, going on in me, and thank God I didn't have anything on me because I'd probably be coming home now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was me knowing that my woman had that woman intuition. I actually decided to listen to her. I didn't let my ego get in the way of me listening to what she had to say, it kept me from going to jail. You know what I mean? For 7 days, every time I left my house, the cops literally checked me every single day.
What?
Like I'm talking about, like, I'll leave my house and there's a cop around the corner of my street, and he's searching me, and then I walk up 40 yards and another guy searching me. I'm looking at him like, yo, there's another cop, he just let me walk past. Why are you searching? Shut up, turn around. And it's like, all right. So she helped me retire, put it like that. You know what I mean? And so I talked to a man about my wife, because my wife is not Muslim, but he was telling me, he's like, if you've been through what you've been through and she's helped you be this successful, why would you leave her? That'd just be stupid. So I said, right. So I chose to stay with her, and things worked out. We ended up eventually becoming married and having children. So, at the end of the day, you can't, just to help you, countermate what you said, you can't just let race or whatever be the circumference of what you decided who you want to be with. Sometimes it's the person that's right for you. It may not be what you envisioned.
Yeah,
what did we say that don't dismiss the message because of
the way
what the messenger looks like?
Yeah, because you have to remember, I don't know how religious people are, but everyone knows about who David was. David was not any human person's first pick. You know what I mean? But the person that you don't pick is the person that God picks. So you just got to roll with that at the end of the day. So, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You can't just neglect who you are, where you come from.
Right.
And just because you're with someone else doesn't mean that you demean someone of your own people.
Right.
No matter what, because nobody's perfect, believe it or not. Nobody's perfect. They're trying to paint this picture that all these other races have everything figured out. They do not. By no means.
I've been working in the casino since I was 18 years old, and I tell people all the time, Indian people get loud and curse each other out. Asian people get loud and curse each other out. Spanish people get loud and curse each other out. It's just...
I look at Spanish people like they black people anyway.
They are.
95% of them are part black, part Spaniard, part Native American. So you're black
And we actually, I'm a part of a group, a spiritual group, and we actually had that debate because someone brought that up. Like, do you look at Latinos? Because a lot of people don't, some people don't feel as though Cardi B she doesn't represent us well, and she's always pushing her Latino side, and they don't feel as though, they feel like she's manipulating our culture, but she doesn't say that she's black.
But she's Dominican. And
her mom is Trinidad, her dad is her mom is from Trinidad, yeah.
Here's the funny part about it. I'm not Dominican by no means.
Everybody think you are.
Me and my wife went to the Dominican Republic. Dominican people were looking at me because she was trying to show off and speak Spanish. People looking at me like, what's up with you? And I'm like, bro, I'm not Dominican. And they look at me like, you don't know Spanish? They were trying to make me feel bad for not knowing Spanish. So it was the funniest thing. We're all black people at the end of the day, but there's nothing wrong about understanding what your individuality, your cultural side is. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's we have to understand that we have to accept each other as a whole and as who our individual states are. Yes. Because believe it or not, the people who are here in America that are pro-black, pro-Afrocentric, they love the whole of Africa. They love the whole of Africa.
Yeah, but then you have to break it down.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't walk up to an Ethiopian person and assume that they're Nigerian. They're going to feel like that's disrespectful. Because they have their own culture, their own tribal tradition, and things of that nature. They love that you love the country in the continent, as a whole, but you have to know the specifics. You know what I mean? So it's okay to know the specifics, but to love the whole in itself. You know what I mean? And you'd be surprised. I laugh about this all the time that Asian people are just like black people. Seriously, they talk loud. They do the same thing we do.
Yes,
how we their kids are bad sound like our kids are bad sound. So it's don't believe the hype, you know.
So, moving right along, I feel like that was our last question for you, and I'm glad that you answered that. I'll say that again, because I feel like it is important that we understand that no matter what a black man, And now that I know that you are dating outside your race, you still like, you have a black mother. You still, yes, I'm still protecting black women. I still love black women. Just because love didn't come in the color that the world thinks that it should have came in, it came. But that doesn't lessen the fact that I will go to war.
And I have.
So Khalida, I also wanted to do like research. Khalida, you have a list of black.
Yes.
Because they always say that black men get the money and then go.
Your ass for a white girl.
How true is that, Khalida? How true do you think
It's
that?
not really that true. I think that that's really just a narrative like that they like to push in the media, which I say all the time. I come from a huge family. I actually have 12 brothers, like blood brothers. And most of them, like I'll say all of them, have kids by black women. And I mean, my kid's father is actually Latino. He's Puerto Rican, but
He's black.
He black. If we had a conversation, a race conversation, we do all the time. And I'm always asking, like, well, you know, when our sons, which are 16 and 12, go out into this world, how do you think they're going to be identified as? Excuse my language, but he's like, his niggas. He's like, it don't matter. He's like, when they see me, they see a nigga. They don't say, oh, you're Puerto Rican. He's like, I'm a nigga when they see me.
Say it louder to the Latinos in the back who feel like they have an upper hand and they want to be racist towards.
And he hates that. He has a severe aversion to anti-black people who are anti-black or anything anti-black, because he's like, if you knew your history or your roots, you wouldn't be saying that. You would be shutting the fuck up because you know that you have
You be pissed off because they're actually talking about you. And even if they want to talk about you, like, they don't like you more than they like
They actually like you less because now they feel like you came in and took all the other jobs that nobody else wanted.
And like to piggyback off what you guys are saying, like, what people fail to realize is that these other people who you try to cling to, that's not black, they don't accept it.
They don't even, like, they have colorism within their own races.
It's to the point that like people who say that, oh, I'm Spanish. You're not Spanish. A white person from Spain is Spanish.
Yes.
The way you speak, the Spanish you speak is not the same Spanish they speak. It's the Spanish they teach you at school.
Yes.
So when you go there and you start talking to them, they know that you're not Spanish, like from Canada. They don't treat you like that.
Yes.
And I know this.
Well, you know what they call them? They don't call them Spanish. They call them Jibaros. They call them country people. Like you're not. You're not a proper Spaniard.
Like our race is the only race that will accept you for who you are. If you go back to Africa, no matter where you go, they will accept you. They'll say, hey, thank you for coming, brother. Sister, how you doing?
We had this discussion over here. I've had this discussion with my boyfriend. We've had this discussion, me and him, on the way over here, because black people are naturally not violent.
Yes.
We are not a violent people. We will accept and love
anybody.
Anyone.
Anybody can get invited to the cookout.
Yes. And it's crazy because, like, we were lying in bed and it just hit me because I was just sitting like, why do they keep killing us? I said, we're not a violent people. And he said, no, babe, you're not. He said, if you look at your history, there is no history of you being a violent people.
Well, remember, we're the first people, so we're the big brother and the big sister to everybody.
The indigenous
So the big brother and the big sister never hates the little brother, little sister. Even though they their mistakes, we still love them because we're the older sibling.
Yeah, so he was telling me that, and it just clicked to me, and I might sound crazy to y'all, but I was just like, they killing us for our melon, like our organs. What we have inside of us and I don't want to say it on a level where Because I
It's
feel
superior.
our organs are superior. They are.
They are superior.
Our melanin is worth more than gold and platinum. You can Google that. Like, that is a fact.
For one example, it's a runner right now, a female runner. She's the top runner in the world. And they're saying, because she's faster than everybody else, that she needs to take medicine to lower her testosterone in her natural body, because so that she can be on a competitive level with everybody else who has less than she is.
You want me to downplay the God inside of me?
You want
to make
God
you feel
in me.
to make you feel better.
Yes. Every time that I see it, it's nothing more than just saying basically she's black and she's faster than everybody else, because she's really a woman. And y'all did all these tests, y'all found out there's nothing extra going on. She's not on drugs, she's not doing nothing. She's been running her whole life. And that's what she said. She's like, I've been running since I was 3 years old. And y'all mad at me because I perfected my craft. Like, come on.
Rick Shaw, you have a shout out. I just paid attention to our comments. Comments, pull up your phone so we can. So I can, no, you cannot read.
Hey, Aaron.
Oh, what kind of 2020 picture you had?
Oh, what's up, Aaron? I see you, bro. What's going on?
I like to see
Oh, my man,
you.
Double A, you're a fellow producer, man. Shout out to him, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, so we're having a conversation about black women and how we are loved. You gotta hit us. You gotta with our celebrity list, because they have. I grew up believing, that once a black man gets some money, he leaving you for a white woman.
Kanye voice.
Kanye voice.